What's going down, everybody? It's your boy, That Guy My High, tuning back in for another reaction. And this time we got 15 zombie-proof houses you'll regret not seeing. This is actually part 2. If you guys want to see part 1, just let me know down in the comments below, and I'll go back and find the part 1 of this. This one popped up recently. I think it was uploaded a few days ago. And so yeah, but we're doing this one. But if y'all want to see part 1, like I said, just let me know, and we'll find that one. But strap your boots on, do what you gotta do. Spark up, dab up, vape up, dip up, moonshot up, sweet tea up, do what you gotta do. Just go up, maybe take a shot or 2 or 3 because maybe take a shot or 2 or 3 because a couple is for me. If you can't do that, open up your mind because ultimately that's the only way to go up anyway. You know what I'm saying? Pimping. You know what I mean? Okay, that was a really sloppy one. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I was sloppy. But anyways, let's do this. Let go.
If there ever comes a time where the world has to deal with a zombie apocalypse, let's just hope there are some places like on today's list for the majority of people.
Jej pochylenie powoduje, że daje ci jeszcze większe poczucie bezpieczeństwa, bo wiesz, że drabiny nie podłożysz, śpisz sobie bezpiecznie.
Not only would we be living luxuriously, but safely. From suburban.
First off, here's the question. Are any of y'all terrified or worried about a zombie apocalypse? You know what I'm saying? I'm just curious, you know what I mean? Just curious if anybody out there is like really terrified and already, doomsday prepping and got they bunker together and figured out. I'm just curious how you feel about that.
Fortresses to little homes that utilize Mother Nature as the best defense. Here are 15 zombie-proof houses you'll regret not seeing part 2.
I mean, if I had enough money to just have
Number
a zombie house, I would. Or a
luxury California
house,
mansion.
I probably would.
Some houses are more like hotel complexes than homes. As you might imagine, some of the most luxurious homes in the world are also the most secure. From guard houses and security systems to roll-down security shutters, the California mansion has it all. That includes the steep price tag as well. California homes are expensive no matter where or what you buy. So just imagine what something like this monster would cost. This beauty holds the whopping price tag of over $48 million. And that's before the crazy
$48 million for that shit?
real estate market just hit the world. The estate is comprised of 2 stately structures, the main residence, which was constructed in 1916, and an entertainment gallery. They're both connected to an underground passageway that leads to safety in the event of an evacuation. The original owners spent 7 long years meticulously restoring, renovating, and incorporating the newest technology and amenities into this stunning gated home. There's more than just a house here. There's a fortress. Now, let's get ready for...
See, it's like that right there was like almost kind of like just creepy because it just looked like 7 years to build a house that you don't even intend on for real living in. Like that's odd, bro. Like if that was your thing, you buy, and flip houses and shit. Like, that, I mean, I would 100% understand and get that, but to not like... I'm just not 100% convinced that, like, bro, what kind of shit? Like, okay.
Today's open discussion.
That was wild.
Dangling over the side of the cliff is a sure way to evade any zombie invasions. And this crazy home is the perfect example. While they might be able to get in through the roof somehow, their clumsiness suggests they'll likely fall over the side and into the depths below. Would you mind having a home like this in a zombie invasion? Or is the looks of this house better suited for aesthetics alone? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to use the hashtag open discussion to join the conversation.
You want to know a little secret? If you smash the like button. I'm not living in no house that's hanging off the side of nothing, especially no goddamn cliff. Like, what if an anchor lets go? You know what I'm saying? What if something lets go and you just plummet into your death? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got there ain't nothing you could do about it. You gotta just watch. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna watch. Like, nah, I'm good.
Subscribe and click the notification bell. You'll have superpowers for the rest of your life. So what are you waiting for? Time to fly. Number 14, Hard Luck Castle. Any sort of castle would provide adequate protection from a zombie invasion, but the Hard Luck Castle more so than many. Look, while most people would love to just have a home, let alone a castle, there are some people that have multiple homes and multiple castles. Less than 20 miles from the bright lights of Las Vegas lies a bizarre property filled with strange things begging to be explored and observed. When Randy Johnston first purchased the property, all 40 acres of it, in 1998, he soon realized the land required no inspections or permits, which meant he could build whatever
Oh,
he
that's
wanted.
nice.
Though it took around
Oh, that's
24,000
lit.
bricks, the aid of some good friends, and a little over 10 years to bring his vision to life, he accomplished his dream, and it still stands to this day. You can find this building standing at a whopping 4 stories tall. It even casts shadows across the desert around it. Boasting 16-inch thick walls, the structure's exterior is massively
pretty dope.
impressive and dang near impenetrable. There's no zombie getting through this insane wall. Inside the house is where the true riches are hidden. Inside you can find a wood shop, wine cellar, theater room,
Damn.
solarium, outdoor secure
you
deck,
see all
and
that
last
wine?
but not least, 20s era pipe organs that can be heard throughout the home when played. Number 13.
I mean, that would be kind of creepy,
Mountain
but that was a
refuge.
cool house. I ain't
Ever
gonna
want to
flex.
stay in the middle of nowhere in the dead of a mountain surrounding in winter wonderland?
Nope.
Now's your chance, and the high-rise hotel room is something that looks like it belongs in a fantasy novel.
No, it don't. That shit looks like it's a broke down. Somebody crashed a plane or a plane and shit was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and just cap this off and add some stairs to it and some electricity and goddamn it, we got a goddamn hotel room. Like, no, thank you.
Called
No,
the
thank you.
New Refuge Gervasity, the survival unit was designed by Italian architects from the company's Leap Factory, who concentrate in modular accommodation for extreme environments. It was brought out to location by helicopter, seeing as there isn't many other ways to get those large pieces out there. To travel there, one must either hike one heck of a journey or take a helicopter to be dropped off. One option is more expensive with money, and one with safety.
Right.
Depending on the point of your whole journey should steer your decision which to choose. As far as zombie protection goes, you have the
Wait, hold up. No. He said one option's money, one option's safety. I'm pretty sure the option that cost the most was the safest option. Flying up by helicopter seemed to be that's probably the safer alternative. I mean, you're like, did you see like that? I'm not hiking up that goddamn place. What?
altitude plus the freezing conditions of the outside weather. Zombies won't be making it very far in that cold, let alone making it up the mountain for brains. Number 12.
That was just
Movie
like a
star
dumb one. I
Desert
wouldn't even want to stay in
Compound.
that shit.
For being a martial arts master, Steven Seagal seems like he's trying to make up for something with his luxurious and state-of-the-art security
That's
home.
fire.
If he already knows how to protect himself, does he really need all this elaborate tech to keep
Hell
him from
yeah.
ever engaging
He
in
getting
said
old.
moment? Perhaps the man who pretends to still be one of the hardest in the world has gotten soft. One thing that isn't soft is the security measures his luxurious home provides. When the actor had his home built in Scottsdale, Arizona, he didn't just make the 12-acre property secure behind a gate. He made sure to equip bulletproof glass, reinforced walls, and fireproof safe rooms. Nearly every room in the house
All
has
right, see now that's paranoia to a whole new level. This motherfucker just said he had bulletproof glass, fire-resistant walls and shit installed. Like the fire-resistant stuff, like all right, I feel that. You know what I mean? I feel that. Like fires can happen at any time. For any reason. It doesn't have to be, any sort of bad intention. Like shit happens, right? Like I that one I kind of get. Like I'll let that one slide. That's a pass. But the goddamn bulletproof windows and shit, goddamn, motherfucker,
glass wall or skylights, which are all unbreakable. The place runs about a cool $5 million and was recently on the market.
That's it.
If you're looking for a new secure home and got the
I'm just saying, that's it. I mean, they've been talking about $40 million and $48 million houses, and this one's only $5? Oh, only $5 million.
to pick it up, this may be the place for you. Number 11, Mudgee Tower. If you cherish being around an open fire, falling asleep and waking to the beat of the sun's rhythms, or just being out and getting in touch with nature,
That sounds
but
awesome.
hate bugs and aren't afraid of nature touching back, then this is the place for you. The simple structure is surrounded by wilderness and offers many amenities you'd expect from a luxurious hotel, but in the middle of nowhere. You can't argue with that view of the surrounding area. With just enough glass to keep the bugs from getting in, you're as close to nature without actually being in nature here at the aptly named Mudgee Tower. The only way to get it in is by the copper line hatches that can be tightened down
That
to
shit
keep
is
out
wild.
common allergens and the smallest of critters trying
shit
to
is
make their way
wild.
inside. Since it's in the middle of nature, seeing and being around nature is unavoidable.
Right.
So, if you can't stand it, this is not the place to be. Animals will often come right next to the home and check things out. Because it's so remote and there aren't often visitors, Animals aren't scared of the area and often trek on past. Number
That'd
10.
be kind of cool though.
Kentucky.
Like for someone who's just like really into nature and likes to be one with nature, or a photographer, that could be that'd be a really interesting little spot for sure.
So, if Kentucky seems like an unlikely place to build a castle, you'd be right. It isn't like Kentucky went through some medieval period where castles and moats were necessary to keep out the invading forces, though there were forts and bases.
What house needs a fucking parking lot? That wasn't a driveway. He had marked spots. You do not park your car anywhere on my parking lot or just anywhere in this bit. You park it in a parking space. What, bruh? One day, that's goals right there, bro. When you got a parking lot for your driveway,
that could be likened to them at one point. Today, it stands as a hotel on a whopping 55 acres of land. Staying here is like staying in the hotel's own city. It was conceived by an architect who loved European-styled castles and thus drew his inspiration from them in its construction. The resemblance is apparent. Unfortunately for him, he never saw it complete. Construction began, and when the original owner passed, the project sat abandoned for nearly 30 years. It was eventually picked up by Tom Post, who purchased the property for $1.8 million, who finished the project and oversees its operations to this day, with intention to pass it on when he passes. Even the inside is a luxurious love letter to European medieval architecture. Number 9. Purdue Underground Tunnel. One way to avoid zombie detection is to get out of sight completely. Buildings, no matter how tall, can be climbed from stairs, etc. Placing a home underground where it can only be accessed by a hatch and 16-inch bulletproof glass is one way to do as much.
I guess.
Not only is this an amazing underground bunker, but an incredibly luxurious one as well.
His porch,
Heck,
or
this
his
underground
backyard,
palace is better than your average house around the globe. With that in mind, you can imagine its price tag. This thing has an indoor pool, including a water slide and diving board, exercise room, living room, fully stocked pantry, and full-size kitchen. The underground home is accessed through a classical garden facade, enclosed by a manicured laurel hedge that you'd expect to find in one of those mazes.
That's the tightest house we've seen so far.
After the hatch, a flight of stairs will take you down to the level that contains the main living spaces. The triangular and wedge-shaped rooms wrap around the central atrium. A second staircase inside the premises provides access to the second basement, but you could always opt for the water slide to get down as well.
Bruh, I've heard of basements. Here in Colorado, we got basements. I ain't heard of second basements and shit. The fuck?
The entrance starts in the master bedroom.
They be having basements on basements on
basements. This lower area
basements
is considered the leisure spot, including amenities like a pool bar, changing rooms, jacuzzi, gym, and extra bedrooms, both equipped with dressing rooms and private bathrooms. Number 8. Casa Caldera. Found in Arizona's San Rafael Valley, architectural group aptly named Dust recently finished a home design in response to the region's distinct history and context. More homes should take note on how they were inspired to construct this beauty of a design. About 15 miles north of the U.S.-Mexico border lies Casa Caldera, which currently occupies a site formed by natural volcanic activity that resulted in a mineral and resource-rich land that farmer types and more would love to have at a time like this. The company said, from native agricultural cultures to nomadic hunter-gatherers to conquistadors and missionaries to pioneers, miners, cattle and cowboys to militia, migrants, and narco-traficantes, the San Rafael Valley in southern Arizona is the quintessential landscape and folklore of the Wild West. Using this idea, they created one of the area's most unique-looking dwellings ever constructed.
It's just a cool
It's inspired many major construction housing makers to follow suit and be more inspired with nature in their buildings. This will provide for better overall health and wellness for its citizens. So the science shows. Number 7. Utah Cave House.
Oh, that's
if you've ever imagined yourself living off the grid in a self-sustaining, eco-friendly manner, you have to check out this amazing cave house. Created by a man named Grant Johnson, you can find this unique home just outside of Boulder, Utah, where the sites feed into this house's already incredible aesthetic and location.
That's fire.
He lives inside the very mountain of the Grand Staircase, Escalante Monument, which means it's actually within park boundaries, but it isn't exactly the place what you'd expect. This amazing 5,700 square foot home comes complete with all the modern amenities you can think of, such as hydroelectricity, precise climate control, gas connections, and plenty of cell phone service. He made sure to add his own tower so that the place would have ample service to go about his work without hindrance. Technology today sure is something, and this is only one example of the many that utilize its ever-advancing ways. Number 6. Chateau Artisan. Constructed and designed by Charles Seeger in 2007, this unique castle was constructed utilizing only the highest quality materials and furnishings that could be found on the planet. That was exactly the point of its creation, so no expense was spared. The aptly named Chateau Artisan currently sits on a whopping 14-acre estate amid a private lake and royal gardens fit for a king and queen. This place rivals the most magnificent house out there with grand scale, wrought iron-gated entry, followed by mammoth wooden privacy gates, long tree-lined driveway, a gigantic obelisk for the focal point, that is, aside from the house itself. The vast lawns and huge koi pond are one thing, but the building itself is like magic. Its features include a covered patio as big as some houses and a dazzling pool. The 3-story home has a huge kitchen, impact glass, full house generator, boathouse, barbecue gazebo, and much more that could make a list all by itself. This thing sold for a whopping $12.8 million, and it's worth even more today. Number 5.
I was gonna say
Safe House. It may appear like a luxurious mansion and boasts the size to accommodate this feel, but this is no mere safe house. This is unlike anything that's ever been shot on film. In fact, it's arguably the safest home in the world. Some people in the world have safe houses nicer than others' primary homes, if they're lucky enough to have one at all. The design was inspired with a modern aesthetic and has tons of windows and glass panes allowing in waves of natural light. While this might seem counterintuitive to safe homes, there's a feature that rectifies the problem. It also comes equipped with state-of-the-art lockup system that transforms the house into an impenetrable fortress with just a flip of a switch. With roll-down steel shutters, slide-out barricades, walls and fences that surround the property, and a state-of-the-art sensor system that rivals the most secure museums in the world, this house can lock up tighter than a vault. There's no way a zombie is getting in there. If the owner wants to turn it into an impenetrable stone lunchbox, he can do so. If he wants to enjoy a sunny day in the summer, he can do that too. Options for the wealthy. Every pane of glass and opening that leads into the home can be sealed when lockdown mode is initiated, including filtered vents and water. Whatever world-threatening crisis is going on at the time, nuclear war, apocalyptic weather, zombie breakout, the person who owns this home will be adequately prepared. Whoever lives here will be living out the apocalypse in luxury. Number 4, Camouflage Boulder. You might walk right past this rock and have no idea that it's actually a house. That would be the point. This amazingly concealed home was made from wood to resemble a giant boulder for the very reason of remaining off the radar. If there's a place you want to escape the world in plain sight, this is it. Designed by the Swiss architectural studio Bureau A, this little slice of peace comes equipped with a fireplace, table, stool, bed, and plenty of storage for your suitcase. Everything that was included here were all the essentials for the life of one person in the high mountains for a few days at a time. It's no permanent solution. They named the cabin Antoine after the name of the main character who gets trapped inside a landslide for 7 weeks in the popular novel Der Borens. The home frame was later covered with concrete rock and transported to the town's high altitudes. Its designer said they wanted to make it as a shelter, saying that the home is a precarious alpine shelter where one can freely enter and hide without reservation, so long as you can find it. Staying here for a few days does come with some considerable risks. The rock literally hangs on the rockfall field, and it could be victim to those like the many others. The architects say it's stable, but like the tale of Antoine for which the home was named, Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Number 3. The Ark. This ridiculous home is not only zombie-proof, it's darn near everything-proof. The place even boasts its own drawbridge, made modern with durable concrete, of course. The entrance is the only way to and from the home, offering amazing defense. The aptly titled Ark Home was built on a vertically steep Polish hillside on purpose. The angle adds more layers to the defense that you can even see. That's to say, it was actually constructed on awkwardly against the angle of the hill to further protect it from anything and everything. The main purpose of the project was to be able to fully seal up the house when the owner wasn't staying there. Or if any emergency occurred, he could lock himself in. As you can see, the house speaks for itself in the footage as it transforms from modern mansion to impenetrable fortress. The builder's main priority in its construction was to make the most use of the dazzling landscape surrounding the area. While within the home you'd think that the glass house was the worst zombie-proof idea on the planet, but the opposite turns out to be true. Whoever owns this property and will be able to take in the wonderful sights, all the while still being safe thanks to the angle for which it was built and the lockup mechanism installed.
That was like a 20-foot.
All he has to do is lift that drawbridge and not even lock the place up, and he can sit in security. If the zombie pileup gets too high and nearly reaches the open window, another flick of a switch and the steel shutters close, making it impenetrable. From some angles, the house looks stable as a mountain, while others look off balance.
It does.
Number
that shit
2.
look creepy.
Treetop cabins. This isn't your typical treehouse you'd play in as a kid. If you did, you were one lucky kid. In fact, this house is really a house above the trees, not in. These dazzling panoramic tree houses are located in Norway, and they're every bit as stunning as a luxury hotel.
Cool. That's dope.
High above the canopies, after ascending a massive spiral staircase, you'll enter a warm and inviting modern of-frame treehouse equipped with all the amenities you'd expect from the fanciest of hotels. This time, you have a view of the remote area on a personal level. These obviously are for those wanting to experience being in the middle of nature, high above the tree canopies, with a view some consider once in a lifetime. The cabin is raised on 4 separate stilts, reinforced by a steel-braided cable and exactly positioned to ensure optimum exposure to the sun, which bathes the living area in light. Number 1.
But what? See, but that one right there though, like, what if they get up the stairs? Like, there was no way to block the stairs off or anything like that. Like, I mean, you were up, you elevated, but like, there was no. I don't feel like that was like a really good one, bro. Like that I don't understand why that one hit number 2.
Impressive British fort is one for the books. It could possibly be the ultimate in protection from zombie invasion, unless they somehow manage to learn to swim or build naval vessels. No Man's Fort, otherwise known as Solent Fort, is an incredible man-made island that offers a number of services and amenities for patrons staying and visiting. Atop the man-made structure rests a complex containing a dazzling home, lighthouse, yard, and other outdoor amenities someone stranded at sea might want on their sea fort.
That's crazy.
A little illusion of land. Since zombies can't get to floating islands, there's no risk from going outside and enjoying the weather from time to time. So long as zombie birds don't become a real thing. One should always be cautious when dealing with zombies. It's the zombie apocalypse after all. But you can breathe a little easier on this floating fortress. You could breathe pretty well in any of the places on today's list. The fort is a hotel sporting 23 large, luxurious suites, restaurants, bars, entertainments, and more. If there's a place you'd want to be during the end of the world, this might be that place. Hungry and out of food? It's a good thing the ocean is rife with it, so long as zombie fish don't transform. If a zombie invasion ever really took place, it's safe to say that access to these buildings would significantly increase your rate of survival. Not to mention you'd be living in luxury for as long as the resources remained available. No matter what kind of safe house you're living in during the apocalypse, if no one is farming or making food anymore, those reserves will slowly but surely dwindle until it's too late. Then those fancy homes and 16-inch thick glass windows wouldn't be able to stop what comes next. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to get all our lit content delivered right to your inbox.
That was dope. All right. Well, y'all let me know which one was y'all's favorite house. I think, honestly, mine would probably be between that cave one and then that one with the crazy koi pond moat thing. Like, that was pretty dope. It was like a whole, like, big-ass mansion castle house on a... You know what I'm saying? Like, that was lit. Or the one with the damn parking lot. Like, bruh. Like, that was fire. But anyways, y'all let me know which one y'all thought was the best house out of all those. Which one would you, in a time of a zombie apocalypse, would want to be in? I think if the zombie apocalypse thing, I think it would have to be either that, again, the cave, that weird one that was sitting on the angle, because even though it did have, like, it looked really unstable and unsturdy. it definitely kind of had some cool amenities as far as like you being able to, you know, get the light and still enjoy, you know, seeing outside and being, you know, still protected unless they started stacking and doing acrobatic shit and, you know, climbing each other and shit. And then you got a whole other problem. But yeah, you know. Anyways, man, I love y'all. There's no me without you. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.